This is Negotiation, Conflict Resolution, and Peace Building 591. I'm Dr. Robert Whipple, and this lecture is on putting the whole portfolio together. Now let's go over the whole portfolio. The timeline of the portfolio involves two critical dates. One of them is September 3rd, the other is September 18th. The content of your entire portfolio should be submitted to Turnitin in the Assignments tab on or before September 3rd. When you submit your portfolio on September 3rd, I will go through and proofread it and give you some suggestions for improvement. Okay, the final portfolio with the correct formatting should be submitted to the assignments area by September 18th. If you cannot turn your final portfolio in by September 18th, please send me an email and let me know. I will process those people for an incomplete. To be eligible for an incomplete, you have to complete at least 50% of your portfolio. During the proofreading, I have reviewed content, organization, and citations, and now for this last phase we want to go over getting the format of the portfolio correct. The final format should follow Chapter 4 of the CSUDH Thesis or Project Guide. Now, as you know, the other chapters don't really apply because this is a portfolio rather than a thesis and project. So the only chapter you need to be concerned with is Chapter 4 and the checklist on pages 77 to 80. When I am going through your final portfolio, I will use the checklist on pages 77 through 80 to make sure that you have a consistent format in your portfolio. The thesis or project guide closely follows the APA publication manual. So if you are using the APA as a guide, you will be in the correct format. My major concern is that you have a consistent format throughout the portfolio. For the checklist on pages 77 to 80 of the CSUDH Thesis or Project Guide, you need to follow the guidelines for the preliminary pages and the title page. On your approval page, I am the only faculty you need to list, and I will post a template of the approval page. Your table of contents should follow the guidelines that I gave you at the beginning of the class for your portfolio guidelines. You will have 5 chapters. Chapter 1 is the program review. Chapter 2 is the detailed question. Chapter 3 is the literature review. Chapter 4 is the discussion. And Chapter 5 is the future program. The body of the text should follow APA format. You should stay within the 1 to 1 1/4 inch margins if you do not plan on binding your portfolio. If you are binding your portfolio, follow the guidelines of the CSU-DH thesis or project guides, and that gives larger margins so you can bind the document. Page numbers go in the upper right hand corner of the page, 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the right. Make sure all the paragraphs are indented and double spaced, and make sure you leave room for the page numbers and the running header. Okay, follow all the chapter headings and subheadings guidelines. And an example I'll give of this is your chapter 1 is going to be your program review, and that will have a main chapter heading, and your subheadings will be the individual course reviews. And then other sections like the list of tables and list of figures and appendixes are added as needed. When you send your document in to turn it in on September 3rd, I will look over your document for punctuation and syntax errors one more time, and you should also look for the errors and have all of your peers look for errors too. When you submit your final portfolio, it should be perfect. Hopefully the only thing I will be evaluating on the final portfolio that you submit on September 18th will be the format of the document. I will be correcting it according to the checklist on pages 77 through 80 of the CSU-DH guide. That's all I have for now. The next lecture will be on preparing for your final oral defense of your portfolio. I look forward to seeing all of your portfolios submitted on September 3rd. Take care.